welcome back. You're watching News9 Live with me, Neha Khanna. Our next story is on the Israel-Palestine conflict. On Sunday night, Israeli forces launched a large military operation in Jenin in the northern West Bank, killing at least 8 people and injuring 27 others. These statistics have been released by the Palestinian Health Ministry. In a statement posted on Telegram, the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, said it launched an extensive counter-terrorism effort in the area of the city of Jenin and the Jenin camp, striking what they call terrorist infrastructure. Residents in Jenin say they heard explosions and heavy gunfire, while a video from the scene shows wounded Palestinians being evacuated by ambulance and taken to the Jenin government hospital. Many of those injured are said to be in a critical state. Footage shared with journalists shows operations ongoing in parts of the Jenin refugee camp and Israeli military vehicles on the streets of Jenin on Monday morning. The raid comes less than 2 weeks after an Israeli military raid on Jenin erupted into a massive firefight, leaving at least 5 Palestinians dead and dozens wounded. 8 Israeli troops were injured in that operation. The IDF said it struck a joint operational command center for the Jenin camp and operators of the Jenin Brigade, a Palestinian militant group associated with Islamic Jihad, according to them. The IDF claims the operational command center also served as an advanced observation and reconnaissance center, a place where armed terrorists would gather before and after terrorist activities, adding that the camp was a site for weapons and explosives and a hub for coordination and communication among the terrorists. Additionally, the command center provided shelter for wanted individuals involved in carrying out terror attacks in recent months in this area. That is a statement that has been issued by Israel's defense forces. The IDF later said its forces targeted a weapons production and explosive device storage facility and confiscated an improvised rocket launcher and additional weapons during these operations that were carried out in coordination with the Israel Securities Authority. An IDF aircraft also struck near a mosque to remove a threat, they said, without elaborating on the character of this threat. Exchanges of fire are taking place with armed gunmen adjacent to the mosque in the Jenin camp. This was mentioned in an IDF statement that was released shortly after 1 p.m. local time. Clashes have been ongoing since midnight, with the latest death toll in Jenin rising to at least 8. The IDF statement provides no clarity on whether the strike near the mosque resulted in further casualties. An IDF spokesperson told reporters that several armed terror suspects have been killed during this operation. One of the goals of the operation, the IDF says, was to break the safe haven mentality within the Jenin camp, described by them as a hornet's nest. Some 500 Israeli soldiers are believed to have participated in this operation. Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen said the Israeli military is striking the terrorism hub that operates in the Jenin camp. I want to emphasize, we don't have a fight with Palestinians. Our fight is with the proxies of Iran in our region, which is mainly Hamas and Islamic Jihad. That is what the Israeli foreign minister said, accusing Tehran of trying to escalate tensions in the region. The Jenin Brigade claimed it had severely damaged at least 1 Israeli military vehicle with improvised explosive devices, and its militants continue to clash with Israeli forces to prevent its advance inside the camp. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad said it will face its enemy with all possible retaliation options in response to the Israeli operations in Jenin. The aggression on Jenin will not achieve its targets. Jenin will not surrender. We will face the enemy with all possible retaliation options in response to the enemy aggression. This is what the group posted on its official Telegram channel. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas condemned the large-scale Israeli military operation, calling it a new war crime. Security and stability will not be achieved in the region unless our Palestinian people feel it. What the Israeli occupation government is doing in the city of Jenin and its camp is a new war crime against our defenseless people, said Mahmoud Abbas. Egypt too has condemned the Israeli incursion, calling it an act of aggression. The Arab Republic of Egypt condemns with the strongest words the aggression conducted by the Israeli forces in Jenin city in the occupied West Bank that led to the deaths of 8 and the injury of 27 other Palestinians. That is what the Egyptian Twitter government handle said. In a separate incident, a 21-year-old man identified as Mohammad Hassanin was shot and killed by Israeli forces at the northern entrance of Al-Bereh near Ramallah in the West Bank. Now, Jenin has seen many Israeli raids in the past year, and residents have been linked to multiple attacks on Israelis. There has been a surge of violence in the West Bank in recent months. On the 20th of June, 7 Palestinians were killed during an Israeli raid in Jenin, which saw the military's first use of an attack helicopter in the West Bank in years. The next day, 2 Hamas gunmen shot dead 4 Israelis at a petrol station and restaurant near the settlement of Eli, that's 40 kilometers south of Jenin. A Palestinian man was later shot dead during a rampage by hundreds of settlers who torched homes and cars in a nearby town. That week also saw 3 Palestinian militants from Jenin killed in rare Israeli drone strikes after they allegedly carried out a shooting attack at a checkpoint near the city. In 2002, during the second Palestinian Intifada, Israeli forces launched a full-scale incursion in Jenin. At least 52 Palestinian militants and civilians and 23 Israeli soldiers were killed during those 10 days of intense fighting. Jenin has been the epicenter of intense fighting between the two sides for years and decades now.
Our goal is to focus only on the terrorists themselves. So this is our goal, and believe me that most of the people in the Palestinian Authority, although they will not say it clearly, they are supporting this, since they also don't want that the terrorist movement will run their life in Jenin and also in other places.
Well, these operations by the Israeli Defense Forces are ongoing in the city of Jenin as we speak. We will continue to track this story, but for now, time for us to take a quick break. On the other side, the latest from a country that's under siege, France.